Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Debbie, and this is my crafty den. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. I really do appreciate it. So what I'm doing today, I've recently hauled this Cut and Create Winter Melody Ephemera and Junk Journal Designer book. It's magazine style or magazine size. It's from Calico Collage, and it is an absolutely gorgeous book. And it has all of this really pretty ephemera in here. So they're all kinds of winter themed words. These beautiful tags. There's pieces that you can cut out for glue booking style. I love that they even have cut lines around some of the smaller images and a blue background, because most of these large pages are a blue background. So it makes everything in here just fit together so well. So I've taken out all of the full-sized pages that are this size. And to do that, I just opened the book, turned it to that front page, pushed this back as far as I could get it, and then I just used a sharp blade and I scored right down the outside edge so that most of these pages came out without too much damage, because I knew I only wanted to cut a little wee bit off of that edge. And I have all of these pages. There's a dozen of these beautiful pages in here. And I've taken each one and just folded it in half, because that's going to be perfect for what I am going to do. Like, look at how absolutely stunning this is. So I'm not sure yet if I'll be cutting some of these down in size. I may be using half pages so that I can get more out of this. But for the time being, I've marked the halfway mark on all of these by lining up my top edge and side edge and just folding these in half. If I cut these, I'll just put them in my paper trimmer and cut them right down that fold line. So the second thing that I'm using for this is this watercolor paper. So this is really inexpensive as well, and I'll show you where I got this from. This is a Dollarama find. This is the Artists Series. They have a lot of crafting materials at Dollarama here in Canada with this Artists Series stamp on it. And it's a 300 GSM. It's nice and heavy, which is good. I'm going to keep the smooth on the inside. And I'm going to take this. I don't want that on there making this crooked. I'm going to line that up perfectly. And because this is really heavy watercolor paper, you can't crease that down with your fingers. You're going to need to use your bone folder. So I have this. Now, let's do one of these. I just want to make some cut lines on here. So I'm going to line this up evenly in that corner. There. Then I'm just going to take my paper trimmer and line it right on that pencil line. And I have this pretty blue paper now. And I am going to put my tape runner on the back of this, making sure I go right to the edge. There. Now I'm going to take my card, and this is going to be my front. So just make sure that you have this turned the right way if you have an image that is directional at all, because you'd hate to end up with your picture going up this way and your card opening backwards. For this one, it doesn't matter. So I have my card. It doesn't quite go to this edge, but that's okay. If it hangs over here at all, just open it up and trim with your ruler and your knife or with a pair of scissors. It doesn't really matter which. So I have this. Now I want to do a front for my card and an inside for my card. On the inside, this is where I want to use these full pages. Now this one is really pretty. It has this on the back, but that's okay. I can actually fold it like this, and I'm going to fold it like this. I'm going to put it right into the center, and I'm going to put some tape just down the center here of my card. There. So I'm going to take this, making sure that my image is upright. And I'm going to put that right in there. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to trim this off. And there we have it. So I have my card kind of made. Now, so it opens up, and it kind of is like some cards have that center page. I kind of like that. That this is a little bit loose. If you don't like it, you could always take your tape runner and put a tiny little bit on there. I'm just going to do it on the front like that and leave the back. And I like that I have this little bit of an edge down here too. So my picture on the inside is this beautiful winter scene. It's got these kind of light florals here. It's got a deer. There's this little cottage style house. Very, very pretty. Now I just have to figure out what of these images. That is pretty right there. That would be a pretty piece to put on the front. These are pretty. I've got these jars, these pockets. I might do that. This one's for my sister. And oh, my sister is a bingo fanatic. She loves her bingo. Loves her bingo. So I'm going to take this page right here, because that image is on there, and I'm going to cut out this image right here. So I've got that piece. Isn't that pretty with that beautiful owl on there? And there. So I have some pieces to put on here. I just have to figure out how I want them to go. think I like something like this. I'm kind of looking at it and I'm wondering, do I want these to go on top? But no, because maybe I'll move them down a little and bring this out a little bit further like this, and move this out here a bit and then move that down there. Yes, I think this will work. And I'm trying to figure out what glue I'm going to use with this, because the wet glue is going to make this buckle. This paper is fairly thin. I may just use my tape runner to put these down. So I'm going to start with this. I'm going to put a little paper on the back there because I want to make sure that I've got my tape runner right to those ends of those points. So I'm going to put this one here. And I'm gluing bits. How did I do that? I'm going to put some on this end and on my points and down the middle so that it's all taped up really good. Like that. Now let's go around this. There, so I kind of like that. I'm going to leave it for a bit because I'm wondering if I'll add more to it after. So I'm going to grab another one of those pieces of watercolor paper. This stuff is really great. So if you're a card maker and you're looking for a nice, heavy, neutral colored card stock for your card bases, this watercolor paper is really great. How do I do this? Every time I put my bone folder down, I lose it. I do have this one that's already folded. I'll look for my bone folder. It'll come. It's under all these papers here somewhere, I'm sure. I just don't know how I put it. I slide it right under my papers every time. So for the front of this one, because I love this paper, it's so pretty. So I am going to figure out what center I want in here. One of these ones in here. So I could leave really plain and glue the other side. I think I'm going to do it this way. So I absolutely think that I am going to put, I think it's just easier to do it this way. There. And then turn it over and trim my bottom off. Love that. Now I'm going to find some decor for the outside. This is where some of these bigger pieces will come in. So what about something like this? Or, oh my gosh, there's another couple bingo cards. So I think I want to put this right here on here. This is how I got my pages out. I just went right down like that because it's so much easier to work on these when you just take them out. They come out really easy this way. So I'm going to cut this piece out. Okay, so I have my card. I have this piece. I'm going to leave an edge. There and there. I put this on here. Isn't that beautiful? That just is so pretty. So I need a sentiment. Let's find some of these words. I'm looking at these and I'm seeing things like snowball fights, mittens, hot cocoa, fireplace. I think I'm going to take a few of these words and just put them down here. I'm definitely not cutting them all apart, although I have my strips, so this will make it easier. So how about bonfires? Because that's relatable. They live in the country, and we've been known to have bonfires at their house on Christmas Day many, many times. So I'm going to do bonfires. Hot cocoa. And Christmas. There. So I'm going to use these three. I'm going to take my words so that I don't lose them in all of my stuff, and I'm just going to put them over here. There. So bonfires, hot cocoa, and Christmas. So I don't make cards. So I don't have die cuts and all of those things that card makers have. I don't have the traditional card making supplies, but that doesn't mean that you can't make a homemade card. So I'm going to put a little bit there so that I can glue that one down like that. That's what the outside of this one looks like, and I really love that. So I'm going to leave the rest of that to see what I'm going to do at the end once again. And I'm going to take this piece that I couldn't find my bone folder to follow. Yeah, it was under a piece of paper. Being a messy crafter, sometimes that's a real challenge. So I have all of my papers. I have all of these. What one? So you don't necessarily have to use, oh my gosh, isn't that gorgeous? So you don't necessarily have to use both of these images on one. Let me show you what I mean by that. So I am going to grab my paper trimmer. I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to trim down there. So I have two images. Because these are such outstanding images, I can put one of these in two separate cards. Or I can put both of these in two separate cards. I guess that's the way to say that. So here's another one where the image on the back of this is outstanding. But this image here is absolutely beautiful. Now, do I want to use this way? I think I want to keep this together because over here I can write my little letter. So I think I'm going to do that one in here. So I'm going to, how's it going to go? That's going to be on that side. So I think I'm going to glue down this side right here. Just like that. And then I'm going to put this in here. Like that. So now I have this. It's still lifted up at the back. I can actually see because I just put the tape runner on this side. This can flip too, so you can see that back if you want to. I'm going to trim off this bottom. You can leave this closed or open it up to do this. It doesn't matter which way you do this. Oh, I thought that was a crooked cut. I just hadn't taken the paper away. So I have this. Now let's work on the front. So I need a piece of cardstock first on here. Maybe I can put one of these. You know, that would be really nice on the outside of this card. Huh. So I'm getting as much as I can possibly get out of the Cut and Create book. Of course, you don't have to have this tape runner. I just wouldn't recommend using a wet glue on this. And the only reason for that is because I think it'll make this paper buckle. It's thicker than regular magazine paper, but only a little bit thicker. It's like copy paper. And we all know how copy paper can buckle when we put wet glue to it. So I've got this taped really well. I'm going to turn this sideways. And hope that that is straight. So it says footprints there. Footprints in the snow. So this is, oh, this is so pretty. So this is really nice the way it is. This would absolutely be a finished card. Absolutely. So I'm going to leave this one as well. I'm going to grab another sheet of this. So I'm not finishing any of these. My thoughts are, I'm going to grab a couple of these. My thoughts are I can get them partially done and then go back and see what I have left. To work with and see where I want to put it, which cards need a little something and which ones don't. So I'm just going to keep working on these. Then I'm going to come back and I'll show you what I have put together so far. So I've worked on 8 of these and I'm just going to flip through and show you what I've got done so far. So I also added some stamping, just a little bit. I've only got a couple of Christmas stamps. This one says Merry Christmas, and I've got one that says wishing you a very Merry Christmas and the happiest New Year. And this stamp never stamps very well, so I have to go over top of it. But one of the things that I found while I was doing these is that it was just so much easier to glue this paper into the front panel so that when you open it up to the center, but don't glue the back one down at all. I mean, they all have a pretty backing, so that's fine. It's not like you have to cover that. I have a little place down here that I can write handmade, and I still have room on this one that I can fill the card out and write a little note. And I stamped Merry Christmas on here. And other than that, I didn't add a lot of extra to this. I just let that paper speak for itself. So that's one. And then this one, I think this is the first one that I worked on. So I had glued this paper down in here, and I glued it really well in the middle for both sides. But what I found was that when I open this up now, it doesn't kind of lay flat. That's why I stopped gluing the back page. And this one I just stamped Merry Christmas on this side, and I'm still debating on whether I'm going to put a little pocket in here depending on who gets this. I might send a coffee card with this one, and if I put a little pocket, I've got a place for a little gift card. And on this one, I just used some blue, it's just blue paper with white dots, looks like it's snowing. I put the little snowman is on his sled. I put a couple of little banners behind the bingo, and I put the snowman over it, and then I just stuck Winter Wonderland on the front, and I thought that one was absolutely adorable that way as well. I've got a sister who is a bingo fanatic. She's gonna love that. So then this one, I'm not as happy with this one. So this one has the cardinal on it with this holly. So I've got some blue paper, and then this is just scrapbooking paper. Then I've got this, which is a smaller one of those cutout pieces, and I put the cardinal on here. But I backed the cardinal on a little bit of cardstock because I thought it would pop it up. And now I wish I had have put it down so that it looked like it was part of the paper, because I'm not liking it popped up from there at all. And then on this one, I've just got Merry Christmas, but I put a little pocket here, and again I left it so that I could open this and see the difference. It just lays flat so much nicer. So I've got this one. And then this one says Merry Christmas on the front. It's got this paper with this gorgeous snowy owl on here. Absolutely beautiful. And it doesn't need a bunch of stuff on the front of this, because this paper already looks like it's collaged. It looks layered. And then it just says Jack Frost nipping at your nose. It's just so frosty and wintry. And this gorgeous little cottage scene in here with the white fox. Absolutely beautiful. And once again, this paper looks collaged already. I mean, it's got music paper in the background going in different directions. Then it's got the trees and the cottage and the fox on the front. So it kind of speaks for itself. And like I said, it's got this beautiful backing on this paper, so it's fine to let it show. I don't know why I thought I had to glue it down. Anyway, so that's how I did that one. And this one, I love this bird. It is absolutely gorgeous. And this collaged print right here is so beautiful. I just cut this little piece out that says peace, love, joy. It has a little bit of stamped holly on it. And once again, that collaged look. And the inside is so simple, but there was another owl print in there. So I decided I had a bird on the outside. I'd add one to the inside as well. So there's that one. And then this one is a little bit different. This is a piece of silver foiled scrapbooking paper, and it's just a silver and white foiling, so it kind of looks like snow, like fields of snow with light shining on it. So I did this cutout on here, and then I put Bonfires, Hot Cocoa, and Christmas on the front. I just stamped it, wishing you a very Merry Christmas and the happiest New Year. I glued this little picture in here for a pocket, and then I took another piece of that card. It's that watercolor paper, and I just made a bookmark to shove in there as well. So I think that is adorable. I love the way that one turned out. And then this one, when I was doing this, I thought, you know, the Christmas cards that say from our house or our home to yours during the holiday season, there's different sayings, but along that line, I just thought with these houses, it would be really neat if I could find that, but I couldn't find it anywhere. And my printer's not working right now, so I couldn't do it that way either. So I just let the picture do its own job on the front here. This little piece that I cut out and put on here just says Season's Greetings. And then this is, and once again, I just glued this side. And this is such a beautiful collage piece with all the florals. With the houses on the front, I didn't want to have anything that conflicted with that, so I thought just these florals worked. And then this is from an old card. I have a bunch of vintage cards. This one says, "May every Christmas wish be yours this season." And the paper is aged in these old cards. So I did a very little bit of distressing around that before I glued it down. I like the way that turned out. I don't think there's any reason why you can't use parts of old vintage cards again for Christmas projects. So I have that one. And then this one, again, just a couple of flags. It says, "Baby, it's cold outside." It just looks like it's stamped, but I cut this out of the paper, out of the book. And this is 2 separate pages on the inside. I stamped "Merry Christmas" here. It's really busy, but I did it anyway. But I thought it was okay because I've got different words throughout this, and this is all glued down. But what I might do with this is glue a piece of paper on the inside, just along the edge, just barely along the edge, so that I can write on it. So it'll be more like the inside of the card. I'm not sure. I mean, none of them could be done. I can go back and add bits. I've got a few days before these have to be mailed out. This has a little fox. It says Yuletide, some cozy and flowers, the fox, and let it snow. And again, a different, so all 3 of these are different little fox images. I thought that was just adorable. And then with all of these red and white Christmas florals. And I think that one turned out really pretty as well. So let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think of using this cut and create book to make your Christmas cards? It was so easy and it went by way faster than what I thought. Leave me a little note. Let me know where you're watching from. I would love to know where everybody is. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would really love if you'd do that now before you left, so you can come back and be part of my YouTube family, see what I'm up to next, and I'll see everyone in the next one. Until then, bye-bye for now, everyone. Have a wonderful day.